Good morning all of you. I hope all of you are doing well. Today we'll start with the chapter 10 of Honeysuckle, the Banyan Tree. So, you must have read about mongoose and the cobras. And you must also have heard about the fight between them. Look at these pictures and read the lines given along with them. So, the fight of the cobra and the mongoose is a classic drama often seen in India, and the outcome means result, is largely the same. The mongoose is not immune to venomous bite. Venomous means poisonous, but it is faster and quicker in motion than the snake. The cobra assumes a posture of defense and attempts to reach the animal by sweeping strike. But the quick moving mongoose jumps out of reach and comes at the snake from another direction before the snake gets into the striking position again. This constant movement tires and discourages the snake, and the mongoose is finally able to leap in close, that means approach or come closer to the snake and bury its teeth in the snake's neck, usually severing the joints of its vertebrae. So let's start with the banyan tree. You all must have seen the banyan tree and its intricate roots. It is a story about what the author saw as a young boy when he was sitting in an old banyan tree in his grandfather's house. Though the house and the grounds belongs to my grandparents, the magnificent old banyan tree was mine, mainly because his grandfather was old enough and he couldn't no longer climb the tree. He was 65 years old. Its spreading branches, which hung to the ground and took roots again, forming a number of twisting passages, gave the author endless pleasure. Among them, the squirrels and snails and butterflies. The tree was older than the house, older than the grandfather, as old as Dehradun itself. The author could hide himself in its branches, behind thick and green leaves, and spy on the world. Spying means watching secretly. So, my first friend was a small grey squirrel. Here, in this story, the author says the first friend was a small grey squirrel, arcing his back and sniffing into the air. He seemed at first to resent my invasion of his privacy. Resent means dislike. That means the squirrel did not like the presence of the author in the beginning. But when he found when the squirrel found that the author did not have catapult or air gun. Catapult is it's a fork type stick which is tied with an elastic used by children for throwing stones, right? So, or air gun. So, because of this, when he found that he doesn't have any arms means the weapon. Arms means weapon. So, when he found that he doesn't have any weapon, he became friendly. And when the author started bringing him a piece of cakes and biscuit, the squirrel grew quite bold and was soon taking morsels from hand. Before long, he was delving into my pocket and helping himself to whatever he could find. Delving means going deep into it. So he was very young squirrel, and his friends and relatives probably thought him foolish and headstrong for trusting a human. In the spring season, when the banyan tree was full of small red figs, birds of all kinds would flock into its branches. The birds of all kinds would sit together into its branches, and red-bottomed bulbuls, cheerful and greedy parrots, mannas, crows, squabbling with one another. During the fig season, the banyan tree was the noisiest place in the garden. Halfway up the tree, I had built a crude platform. So here it means the author has made a small platform for himself to use, where he could spend the afternoon when it was not too hot. I could read there, propping myself up against the tree. Propping means leaning against the tree. And he had a little library, a small library at that place. And the books which he has chosen, which he has kept there, were Treasure Island, Huckleberry Finn, and the story of Dr. Dolittle. Were the some books that made up the Banyan Tree, a library. When I did not feel like reading, I could look down through the leaves at the wall below, and on the other particular afternoon, I had a grandstand view of that classic of the Indian wilds, a fight between a mongoose and the cobra. I hope all of you have understood this. Now in our next video, you will learn about the story further in part 2. Thank you and have a great day.